Here's the reason why you want to own a Perry home, and that reason why is upstairs and also around the corner over here. Actually, before we check it out though, you guys are going to have to watch the entire video because I am dropping a lot of gems and a lot of value and throwing a lot of information your way. So make sure you watch this entire video to see why you should own a Perry home and what's so special down this hallway and also what's upstairs. What is that view upstairs? You're gonna find out in this video, but first, let's check in on the studio. Before we take a look at those model homes, let's talk a little bit about Perry homes and how they started. So Perry homes was started back in 1967 by Bob Perry, who has since passed his legacy on to his daughter, Kathy Perry, which has now turned Perry homes into one of the best home builders in the country. We're talking about one of the most highly rated home builders in the nation. It even made top 25 of America's home builders out of 100 in the last decade. Also, this has been one of the most successful women-based home builders in the entire country. Perry Homes screams quality. The fact that they were actually founded in Houston increases the quality because these homes are built to withstand hurricanes. And matter of fact, if you're watching from a different state, here's the very sad truth about Perry Homes. Are you ready for this? They're only located in Texas. Unfortunately for you guys watching, if you are not in Texas, then you are missing out on one of the most beautiful home builders that there is in America. But they did start building Perry homes, at least from what I was told, down in Florida. So maybe we are going to see Perry homes enter some different markets in the next few years or so. But as of right now, they are primarily based in Texas and a little bit out in Florida. Now, we are going to check out those model homes, but before we get there, if you are looking to relocate, make sure you reach out to me and the team. We specialize in connecting families with their dream homes. But without further ado, let's get started with those model home tours. One of my favorite things with Perry homes is gonna be the materials, the quality, and the layout, all in one, wrapped in one, okay? And this is what this leg of the video is going to be, is I'm gonna show you the layout on a one-story house, and I also wanna show you a layout on a two-story house. We'll see when we get there, but this one right behind me is gonna be a one-story house. Now, I'm gonna flip the camera around. It might be a little loud out here due to the construction. But Perry Homes is always, you could tell what's a Perry home and what's not a Perry home. They always have these light, neutral color type of finishes out in front with the rocks, and also with the vinyl plank. With the cement finish on the outside, it always looks very nice on the outside. Like I said, it's easy to tell what's a Perry home and what's not a Perry home. And Perry homes, a lot of the times, are just simple black, white, and gray. They also have these well built out front patios and porch areas. They got large entrances, large doors. I believe this door is about 9 feet tall. And these ceilings are between 18 and 19 feet tall. There's just tray ceilings throughout this foyer here. And most of the time, Perry Homes is always gonna have some sort of office type of room, flex room in the front of the house. Also comes with its own tray ceiling as well. And then your guest bedrooms are just gonna be scattered throughout the house. In this case, this is gonna be your first guest bedroom over here. Pretty large, pretty decent size. And this one is a Jack and Jill. So it shares a full bathroom with another guest bedroom. Also a very common feature in Perry Homes. And you are going to get another guest bedroom over here. More of a master suite, and because it has its own bathroom essentially. Full bathroom at that. Now, depending on the area that you're in, your garage is going to look very similar to this. Now, this is actually a smaller garage than what I'm used to with Perry Homes, but at least it's finished. They go ahead and paint the walls. They put that thick trim on the bottom, about that 5-inch baseboard going all the way around, epoxy the floor. Comes with a garage door opener, stainless or tankless water heater over there, already pre-plumbed for a water softener. Comes with the irrigation system. Now, with Perry Homes, usually you would see a a 3-car garage or a 2.5-car garage, but in this case, you're only getting that 2-car garage. It just really depends on what floor plan you get, what communities you're in, things of that nature. Now, over here, this is more of a media type of flex room or maybe a second office. Again, Perry Homes is pretty good at just making additional spaces, and on top of having additional spaces, they are going to have an excessive amount of windows to let in as much of that natural sunlight as possible. They also have that 5-inch thick or 5-inch baseboard along the entire house. Right? This is gonna be your laundry room. Now, I do see in some floor plans that Perry Homes laundry room is connected to the primary bedroom. In this case, it's not, but it is centrally located and it just flows so smoothly in this floor plan. And then right here is just gonna be your half bathroom. And remember what I said in my previous videos, that usually the coat closet you would think is usually in the front of the house somewhere. In this case, your coat closet is actually over here. Now, I'm not making too much of a fuss of it like I have in other builder videos, because you have this mud room essentially right here where you will put your shoes and jackets and things of that nature, which is close enough to the front door, and it's also right off from the garage, so I can't knock them based on that. Perry Homes is one of my personal favorite builders, and the layout is just one of the bigger reasons why. I mean, look at this. A lot of people would say, well, I don't want to deal with that Texas sun and these high utility bills because the HVAC is always running. Yeah, I hear all that, but get this for a second. You have all these windows, and it just, if I turn off all these lights, this house is still lit up. When you have all these windows in your living space, it makes the space feel bigger and it's just more naturally lit up. And to me, windows is a big deal for me. I mean, it's a pain in the ass to take care of all these windows, but it just makes the space look so much nicer. It makes the house feel more breathable. And again, it just makes the space feel so much bigger. Now, keep in mind, this is an inventory house. It's not a custom build. If you wanted to add more windows, Perry Homes can get that done for you. If you wanted to delete some windows, they can get that done for you. With this being an inventory house, you are still seeing what the inventory houses or spec homes, what they have to offer in terms of features. Otherwise, other builders these might be upgrades to other builders. For example, this is not a rule of thumb, but usually I do see a lot of under the cabinet lighting in Perry Homes, and I also see this gas cooktop just sitting on top of the counter, on top of having an oven and a built-in microwave. I do see that pretty much in every single Perry home. The only one that I wouldn't say without certainty is the lights underneath the cabinets. Now, what I do see quite a bit is that even though these are the plain white, egg white type of cabinets over here to the left, over here to the right, they throw an accent color. This one's more of a gray to play off of each other and basically just feed off of each other and offer some different variations of color. Another for sure feature that you're gonna get in the Perry home is gonna be this trash drawer. It's already built in. You don't have to install anything. You just place your trash bins in here. You're good to roll. One of the things I wanted to point out though is this right here. This island, I see this in some Perry homes and I also don't see it in others. This would be considered an upgrade. Not a lot of builders offers this. Perry homes, when you're dealing with luxury builders, this is actually one of the low-key features that you should be looking out for. It's just extra drawer space inside of your kitchen island. I like it. I like the look. You could hide a lot of different things in there. And I think it's to make up for this, which is actually one of my knocks when it comes to Perry homes, is the pantry. I don't know why for some reason, but it seems like that when you're in these luxury houses, unless if you're getting a stupid big house or getting this custom made, but it seems like a lot of the times, the pantries are a little bit on the smaller side. So I would say that's one of the knocks that I have for Perry homes is that their pantries are just with these beautiful open houses, all these unlimited features it seems like, and just gorgeous layouts. The one thing that they're lacking in is the size of the pantry for some reason. Before I go into the master bedroom, I want to show y'all this covered patio in the back over here. Now, Perry Homes does a really good job in making this look very pretty. And every single house usually does have some sort of a covered porch type of area, and it's a large, oversized type of porch. It's always covered as well. And they always have, if you're in a gas community at least, I never saw Perry homes in an electric community, but I always see some sort of gas pipe hanging out so you could basically build your own kitchen out here. I would say that's a pretty safe general rule of thumb to follow when you're buying a Perry house or a Perry home. So let's take a look at this primary bedroom now. I'm gonna flip that camera around. So primary bedroom, just like the living room, has an abundance of windows to let in that natural sunlight. And it also has this tray ceiling here. One thing that I noticed is that you are not getting a ton of recessed lights. This is your only light source up here. Now, me personally, if I'm going to custom build a house, especially a Perry home, I would probably lean towards putting more lights in the ceiling. And I might just go with 2 over there and 2 over there and keep this fan right there. That's just my personal opinion. You can never go wrong with having too many lights instead of having too few lights. Another thing I wanted to point out too is that they have these built-in switches already for the fan. Fortunately, you do not have to go in and install any of this stuff. It already comes with the switches, already comes with the little remote. All you're doing is just moving your stuff in, and that is it. Maybe add some blinds too, right? Now these bathrooms, statistically, the most important rooms for most people, right? For most people is gonna be your kitchen, your primary bedroom, and your primary bathroom. Perry homes, their primary bathroom, I just fall in love with it every time that I walk it, and this is why. Look, as soon as you walk into the primary bathroom, right, you are immediately greeted to this large soaking garden tub. And I wanna point this out too. You have this tub in the middle of your bathroom. They still have the windows to let in as much natural light as possible, but they have them frosted so they're nice and private, because for some reason, home builders will forget to do that. I just turned the lights off. I didn't turn them all off. I just want to show y'all something real quick. All right, lights are all off inside the bathroom, and it's still light. I mean, that doesn't count. That's just a closet, but it's still light. And I really appreciate the small details like that, because if you did not have these windows here providing this natural light, this bathroom will feel like a shoebox. It will feel a lot smaller than what it actually is. So the fact that you not only just a window, but you have 3 windows, and on top of that, they're frosted already in your bathroom, just makes a huge difference in my opinion. So you have this large garden tub, and it doesn't even take away from the space on the rest of the bathroom. You have you have a his and her sink, so completely separate. And then you have this walk-through shower, big enough for 2 people if you're showering at the same time. And ultimately, if you wanted to add on to this, you could simply just install a rainfall type of shower. I've seen it happen, I've seen it done. And in this floor plan, you do have the his and hers closet. Now, again, this is not a rule of thumb where every single Perry home is gonna have a his and hers closet. I've seen some floor plans just have one big walk-in closet, but a lot of them does offer that his and hers closet, offers the his and hers sink with the garden tub, with the stand-up shower, with the private bathroom or the private toilet. Perry Homes is my favorite builder for a numerous amount of reasons, and in the features that I'm showing y'all in this tour, that's why. And the quality is insane, especially versus other builders. So now I wanna head to the next floor plan to show you guys. I believe that one is a 2-story floor plan. We're gonna talk a little bit more about the customization that you can do behind the walls and the incentives and price ranges, at least in this neighborhood. I haven't walked that second one just yet, so I'm gonna be brand new to it just like y'all are. So I'll catch y'all over there. All right, so I'm in front of that second Perry Homes model, the one that I prefaced in the beginning of this video with that 2nd story view. But before I go inside, I did not mention this already. So Perry Homes, they have what's called 50-foot lots and 60-foot lots. I believe in some neighborhoods I've seen as high as 70, maybe 80. I might be pushing it on the 80, but potentially 70. In this specific neighborhood in Easton Park, which is a popular neighborhood in the Austin area, they have 2 products here, 50-foot lots and 60-foot lots. Now the 60-foot lots are 60 by 120, is basically 60 feet wide and 120 feet deep. These are pretty decent sized lots. I just wanted to say that because I did not say that in any part of this video. Again, you have the very signature Perry Homes look. And one thing about Perry Homes is that every single home looks different. There's no cookie cutter. They might have some similar features in terms of the mix between the stone and the cement, but no one house looks the exact same as the next one. And that's another reason why I love Perry Homes. So this is, again, the two-story model that I mentioned in the introduction of this video. Now, just like our one-story model, you have this office space right to the front. Right as soon as you walk in, you have an office space. It has a really big window to let in that natural sunlight. And like I said, Perry Homes is known for having all these windows. I mean, look at that. Can you imagine trying to clean that? This is your foyer, by the way. I'm just looking completely up. I don't know how tall these ceilings are. If I had to take a guess, it would be somewhere in the 20s. I just don't know. I don't want to give you all the wrong information, but I'm gonna turn left. We're just looking at floor plans right now. We're just looking at the layouts. So y'all can see why I get so excited when I bring a buyer by a Perry home. We're not gonna go over there yet. That's the master bedroom. We're just gonna take a look at this bedroom over here. This is going to be kind of your guest suite, and the reason why I call it a guest suite is because it has its own bathroom. So far, we're 2 for 2 with guest suites having their own bathroom. Now, remember in the previous house, the laundry room was just a laundry room by itself. It was closed off. In this case, it's connected to the master bedroom, but I don't want to bring y'all that way. I want to bring y'all this way, and we're gonna look at the mudroom area right in front of the garage and even closer to the front door versus our last floor plan. And then we get the garage over here. Now, this is actually a bigger garage than the last one because you have this additional space over here. So really, instead of this being a 2-car garage, it is a 3-car garage. But from the outside, it just looks like a typical 2-car garage. You just have this entire length right here. Now, surprisingly, this house is 3,400 square feet, and the first house that we looked at was just under 2,900 square feet. There's also a big price difference between the two. And I'll go over those prices at the end of the video. Now, here is, I believe this is the same floor plan as the model home because it is dining room area right here. I remember seeing this in the model home. I love when a house has a dedicated dining room spot because so often nowadays is that the modern house, everything is just wide open floor plans. So all the space, the living room, the kitchen, the dining rooms, it's just one big space. There's really no more separation anymore. It should be a traditional characteristic to have rooms separated like that. I also understand the open room concept or the open floor plan concept. It opens up the space, it makes the house feel bigger, it's more efficient in terms of energy, but just having your own dedicated space like this and it's not even closed off, I think this type of design should be implemented more in not just luxury homes, but even your budget-friendly type of builders. Now, just like the last kitchen, this kitchen is laid out with all the bells and whistles. So again, they went with the different color combinations. So you have your eggshell white to the left, and then you have this, forgive me y'all, I'm a little colorblind, but it's like a soft violet purple-ish type of color, and it blends so beautifully with each other because if this was all white, I don't know about y'all, but having the all white look in all these houses just gets a little too bland sometimes. So the fact that they threw some color in here, and then you got these little accents on the sides of the island, and again, just like the first floor plan, you have these drawers, these extra cabinet spaces underneath the island. I mean, this is a huge plus. If you were custom building your house, you could add those glass display sections, just like the model home, on top of the cabinets. And you could even add more cabinets if you wanted to go the route of custom building your house. I didn't point this out in the last one, but also with Perry Homes, you're getting backsplash in your kitchen already comes with the house. And in this case, this pantry is still not as big as I would like it to be for the size of the house, but it's a lot better than the last pantry. Perry Homes, if you're ever gonna watch this, I hope you take my feedback and implement it in some of your floor plans, but you have to increase the size of the pantries. Unless people with this type of money, they just don't cook, you know? I don't know. But this is what the living room looks like from this view. Again, windows galore. You got windows everywhere, just everywhere in the house. Just opens up that space. A lot of Perry Homes buyers, this is a forever type of home, you know? This is gonna be your primary bedroom, but the primary bedroom is on the first floor in the back of the house. And then that bathroom, this is the die for again. It's just, man. So again, you have the his and hers sink. You have this large tub. This one is built, there's tile built around it versus just it being freestanding by itself like it was in the first floor plan. Remember that key difference. And this shower has a shower door this time instead of being open, and it has bench seating this time instead of it going all the way through. No rainfall or waterfall type of shower. But again, if you are custom building your house, you can easily ask the builder to add that. And then you have a his and hers closet. Now here's one of my low-key more favorite features of Perry Homes when they do this right here. So real quick, you get your private toilet, but when they do this right here, so you have the his and hers closet. This could be his, it could just be hers, and it goes straight into the laundry room. I'm a big laundry room type of guy, and I'm not saying that's not my favorite room personally, but it's one of the rooms that I do take into account when I'm buying a house, because I mean, you're gonna do laundry. You gotta do laundry every weekend, or how often you ever gotta do laundry for. And if you have a laundry room that's small, or it's just in a weird spot in the house, that could change the dynamic of a house. That could be that small difference in terms of, I'm not gonna buy this house because this laundry room is located in a non-functional spot. I love when Perry Homes does that, when they have the laundry room connected to the master bedroom. It just makes so much sense, especially when it's connected off to the closet. It makes perfect amount of sense. I wish more builders would do that. We are heading upstairs, and I wanted to show y'all, this is the part that y'all came for, okay? This is the front foyer right here. All right, so you have a view of the front right there. You have a view of your living area over here. You have more windows over there, just a loft area over here. And you get some of the kitchen view and more of the living room view over here. And I mean, I love this space. I love when they have these handrails just open up. It makes the house breathable. It opens up that space. And even though most likely the kids' rooms are gonna be upstairs, or the guest bedrooms, or whoever's gonna be upstairs, they don't feel like they're in a completely different house because everything is just all opened up. That's what I wanted to show y'all at the beginning of the video. And what's funny is that I didn't even walk this house when I made that intro. I just knew that the second level was gonna have a view like that, because every time I go inside of a Perry home, that second story, it just never ceases to amaze me. With this is gonna be your media room, and even then they still do a tray ceiling. And even then, look at the view of the neighborhood. Look at these other Perry homes out there. Got a lot of construction coming to this neighborhood, y'all. Again, this is Easton Park. This could be a media room. This could be a workout room. This could be a kid's playroom. This could be a storage room. Whatever you want to use it for, use it to your heart's content. Now over here, you're gonna have a couple more guest bedrooms. Guest bedroom over here. But wait, it's another Jack and Jill full bathroom, and it's shared with your other guest bedroom up here. That's right, this house only has 4 bedrooms. Did I count it? So that is why I'm a huge fan of Perry Homes. The layout, the quality, the features that you get. Okay, so before we go back to the studio to talk about the customization process and cap this video off, I do want to talk about the incentives with Perry Homes. And I'm only speaking about Easton Park because that is the neighborhood that I'm shooting this video in. Again, Easton Park is a very popular neighborhood in Austin. They're actually trying to build a mini city here, so you never have to leave the area except for work. They're building a HEB here. They're expanding Slaughter Lane to where it can connect. And Slaughter Lane is basically a straight path up to downtown Austin. They're putting some commercial buildings, some stores, some restaurants. There's a lot of parks here, a lot of amenities here in Eastern Park. If anything, I think Eastern Park is one of the, in my opinion at least, top 5 best neighborhoods in the Austin Metro in general to be in, and that's new construction. So with that all being said, I can only speak about Eastern Park Perry Homes incentives, so keep that in mind. I will say that overall, Perry Homes is not going to offer incentives like permanent rate buy downs. So in Eastern Park specifically, they're offering $35,000 for you to put towards a price reduction, for you to put towards buying the closing costs, for you to put towards temporarily buying the rate down to 3.99% in the first year, or put towards customization options. Perry Homes in general does not offer a permanent rate buy down. It's all temporary. So 3.99% in your first year. After that, you're gonna be 6.1% or whatever the market rate is gonna be. But I believe on the sign I saw 6.1%. With that being said, if you working with me as your realtor, I can negotiate for you and ask for Perry Homes to provide not only the incentives that they're already offering, but even more than that, we're gonna ask for a discount on the price. We're going to ask for a permanent rate buy down. We're gonna ask for more than $35,000 of closing costs. We're gonna ask for blinds, a fridge, washer and dryer. We're gonna ask for the farm, and it's up to them to say no. So yes, Perry Homes are not known for having the best incentives in the world, but that's new construction, luxury builders in general. Luxury builders are not gonna offer permanent rate buy downs. Instead, they are gonna offer you more options to put flex cash towards customization, towards upgrades, towards lot premiums, things of that nature. The permanent rate buy downs are gonna come more for your budget-friendly type of builders. Perry Homes is just not one of them. Perry Homes is a forever home type of builder. These prices are in the 7, 8, 9, sometimes $1 million, depending on where you're at. In this neighborhood, $700,000 to $800,000, upwards of $900,000. But that is Perry Homes in a nutshell. We're gonna go back into the studio where I wanna tell a couple stories of some people that are custom building their Perry Homes and what they ran into, what the customization is, and what Perry Homes has to offer in terms of upgrades, how the sales team is, the warranty department, and the customization department. Let's go back to the studio. Let's talk about what's going on behind the scenes with Perry Homes. We're gonna talk a little bit about the warranty team, the sales team, and then the design center. And then we're gonna get you guys out of here because I know you got more videos of mine to watch. Anyways, as mentioned in the beginning of the video, Perry Homes was originally founded in Houston, Texas, and in turn, they can withstand hurricane type winds. With that being said, some neighborhoods do this. Specifically, the neighborhood that I got more information about Perry Homes from is going to be Flora and Huddle, which by the way is going to be a video on my channel, so make sure you are keeping your eyes out for that video. That's going to be an amazing new video. It's a master plan community, all that. You guys have to watch that video. Anyways, I learned a lot from that neighborhood walk, and I'm gonna apply it to this Eastern Park walk as well. So as mentioned earlier, Perry Homes is built to withstand hurricanes. In Flora's neighborhood specifically, they are the only builder in that neighborhood that are building their Perry Homes with 4 sides of masonry, again, because they're built to withstand hurricanes. Everybody else is gonna be hardy plank, brick, and whatever, and stucco maybe, and whatever else materials that they're using. Perry Homes, again, specifically in that neighborhood, is the only one with 4 sides masonry. Now, that could be the case in other neighborhoods as well. I do see a lot of Perry Homes using that material, but that was just something that kind of stood out to me while I was shopping other builders and trying to compare them to Perry Homes, especially for this video. Now, another interesting fact about Perry Homes is 36% of Perry Home buyers are repeat customers. That is an insane statistic. That means almost half of their buyers are already have owned a Perry Home, which just speaks volumes. Think about that number for a second. Out of 100 people, 36 people are coming in and saying, you know what? We're buying another Perry Home. We're not gonna go with any other builder. And I've heard that quite a bit. Now, for the warranty department, a lot of builders are gonna offer you something called a 1-2-10 warranty, and it's basically just a first year cosmetics fix, so anything that's wrong cosmetically with the house, the builder's gonna cover it. Second year is craftsmanship, so that's if there's anything wrong with the plumbing, electrical, HVAC, things of that nature, the builder should cover it. And the 10th year is structural, so think about foundation and roof. I go over a little bit more about what the 1-2-10 warranty is in another video, so I'm just gonna leave it somewhere on the screen. Make sure you watch that video to learn a little bit more about new construction. But anyways, Perry Homes does not offer the 1-2-10 warranty. Instead, they offer a 2-10 warranty. So you do get that craftsmanship, and you do get that cosmetics plus basically the systems. You get that covered in 2 years. The cosmetics is also covered in that 2 years opposed to 1, and you still get that 10-year structural warranty. That is a huge difference between what most other builders are offering. Plus, in addition to that, you're dealing directly with Perry Homes and the construction manager. They don't give that warranty package to a third-party company for them to try to fix your house and for you to deal with. Perry Homes values the relationship between themselves, the company, and you, the consumer, and now the Perry Homes owner. They value that relationship to the point where they do not want to source that out to a third party. They want to keep that in-house and make sure that your customer satisfaction is going to be close to 100% as possible. With that being said though, I do have to say that at the end of the day, every single one of these new construction builders are going to be using the same contractors and somewhat of the same materials. Perry Homes, for example, has special efficient windows that no other builder really uses. You have both quantity and quality. So Perry Homes does not shy away from the amount of windows that they have throughout their house. As y'all may have noticed, there are windows literally everywhere inside the house. The living room has multiple windows. The master bedroom has multiple windows. Every single guest bedroom seems to have at least 2 windows, it seems like. So you have sunshine. Being in Texas, if you haven't been to Texas yet, just know that it does get pretty hot here. I think today, right now, it's about 95 degrees. So it does get hot. So a lot of people might be turned off from the fact, well, if I have windows throughout my entire house, my utility bills might go through the roof. Hold your horses. Because of these energy efficient windows that Perry Homes puts inside of all their homes, you are not really suffering a spike of utility costs. That utility cost is actually going to be reduced due to the materials in these windows, and also due to the materials behind the walls too. So your utility bills are going to be surprisingly on the lower side versus what you might imagine a house with a lot of windows would be. So that's a little bit about the construction side and a little bit about the warranty side. Now let's talk about the sales team. The sales team is pretty much the face of the company. That's going to be the first people that you talk to about Perry Homes. They're going to sell you on a product. In my experience, Perry Home agents don't come off as salesy. They kind of come off as laid back a little bit because they know that their customer base is going to see the quality and be more attracted to the quality versus being more attracted to, for example, the incentives. Just for example, like a DR Horton is going to be attractive with their incentives. Like, hey, we're offering closing cost assistance. We're offering $10,000 in incentives. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do the interest rate at 4%. Perry Homes doesn't do all that. They let the quality, they let their product sell itself. With that being said, they do have incentives, and the incentives aren't really that aggressive versus other home builders. And usually when you're dealing with luxury and higher class type of builders, you're not going to have crazy incentives. You're not going to have lower interest rates, or at least stupid lower interest rates. You're going to have maybe, hey, you could use $35,000 of flex cash to do whatever you want. You want to take it off the price? Go ahead. You want to use it towards your closing costs? Good for you. You want to buy down your interest rate? It is completely up to you, which is a plus, because once you feel a little bit too pushy, you might have to start questioning some things. Lastly, what a lot of people tend to do in their Perry Homes is just throw in their own updates and their own designs. You know, you do have the option to build a Perry home from the ground up, so you get to design it from the very first steps all the way to the very last ones. But Perry Homes also sells inventory homes, which already come with specific types of upgrades that you really can't do too much about until after you purchase, and then you can do whatever you want. So from a design point of view, you could really go all out inside of a Perry home. And they do a lot of the times offer incentives in terms of a design designer credit or design credit for you to apply towards whatever upgrades that you want. One of my favorite things about the design center for Perry Homes is that you get to mix and match. A lot of home builders that offers this to be built type of product or design product, they have different packages that you have to follow. For example, builder A could have a lotus package, a rose package, and a daisy package, and then you have different types of floors, cabinet colors, backsplash, countertops, things of that nature. Whereas Perry Homes, you literally get to mix and match whatever you want. You're gonna spend about 5 hours total, give or take, with the designer. So the sales agent is gonna spend an hour to exactly explain how the process works. They're gonna take another hour to kind of go over all the options that you have, and then you have 3 hours to start designing your house. And you are going to be able to build your house from the ground up, customize however way you want to. So you want to add an extra room inside of the floor plan that they give you, you can do that. You want to have blue cabinets with pink backsplash, which I don't know why you would do that, but you could do that. And you want to add a 3rd car garage, well, as long as the lot is big enough, guess what? You can do that. So Perry Homes does have a lot of flexibility in the customization and the designs, and that's just something that I got to take my hat off for, and got to tip my hat, if I can even fit a hat on my head. I got to tip my hat to Perry Homes for being able to provide that product. Perry Homes is definitely just one of those builders that is my personal favorite, just due to the overall picture that they have. And one day I'm looking forward to being a Perry Home owner myself. So if you made it to this part of the video, I want to thank you for watching. Again, if you are looking to relocate to the Austin Metro, make sure you reach out to me and the team. Links are down below in the description and also the top pinned comment. You could call me, text me, email me. I still want to have that conversation with you to see exactly how I can help you and your family get keys in your hand and help you make the move down here as stress-free as possible. This is In Austin with Dawson. I'm Dawson, and I'm out. Peace.